Remember, people, we're dealing with energies all along the way. I mentioned that as we go from Bobby to Robert, there's more energies. As Robert goes to Nadeau, there's more energies. And know that to take advantage of that, that you don't get pushed by the more energies. Now, when we begin to be aware, easy the eye, and self begins to show, there's a lot of energy with the self. Itself has a lot of energy. Okay, and again, be prepared for that. Don't get pushed there. Easy, easy and open. Self is there. Okay, and the question tonight was, how do you distinguish I or self? Thank you, Oliver. Somebody want to jump in on that? I'll wait you out. Susan, are you on tonight?
She is, Sensei.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
A little raggedy. Try it.
Sorry, I'm on the road. Certainly at the I has an agenda. The I thinks about things before doing. The I thinks about things. In particular ways, and I liked Oliver's word that there's just a completely different flavor when settling into self. There's a calmness, there's a pervasiveness about self. There's no agenda. There's just a completely different flavor.
Okay. Okay, so just that piece, I think, is pretty good. The I's all along the way have activity and agendas and stuff like that. And the self doesn't have those that way, okay? And we have to be careful because anybody who settles in easy, there could be calmness there. So you say, that's self. No, it's just calmness. So Susan, I'm not sure what to say to them about the distinguishing basic calmness with self. Okay. So probably a good word, but could be misunderstood. I used to be nervous. Now I'm a little calmer. Oh, self, that's self. I don't think so. So how do we can we distinguish that, Susan, or can I follow me?
I do. Yeah, and you're right. It's not calmness is not the self.
Then do you want to change the word for what self is, for lack of words, experiencing as self there?
Not sure I have a good word at the moment. There's a fullness of presence. There's a pervasiveness of self.
I'm kind of losing you. Too much snow in your neighborhood, I guess.
Yeah.
Somebody want to jump in on how you maybe distinguish what your sense is of the difference between a self, even though it's a nicer level of self. I mean, that Nadeau is a nicer level of I. as distinguished from a self. Anybody want to jump on that?
This is Nancy.
Nancy?
I get a sense of a person having shown up suddenly, and the person is like me. All my agendas become okay and personalized.
Go ahead.
There's a me-ness. It's me, like it's me, except not the ordinary me. It's
Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, go ahead.
it's some kind of magnificent presence that's a much more magnificent me has shown up, and I'm in awe.
Okay.
But it has that sudden appearance or sense of suddenly it kind of going from not being there to being there. Words fail.
Yes, that's the people. That's the problem. We do the best we can with words, but none of them are exactly. We do the best we can. So I liked a couple of things in there. That sense of, oh, this is me, but not the normal me, not the Bobby me, the Robert me, the Nadeau me, the OSensei me. It's not me, but it's somehow it gives the sense of meanness, meanness.
Mhm.
I am. I have always been here. I've been waiting for could we say, the lesser yous to let go.
Yeah.
Realize I am here and I am you. I am yourself. Something like that.
Yeah.
Those words follow better. Oh, it's a bitch, people. It's a bitch. Do your best. Thank you.
Hey, hi, Sensei. It's Dusty. I'll say something quick if that's okay. You had one of those pieces of paper about a month ago of the I and then the character and the self and the small I, 3 different circles. But I've been experiencing the self as like a supportive, like goes like underneath my character, or it's like holds me up almost like it's very supportive and very like almost physical. A wire underneath, a foundation. That's what it feels like right now. That's all I have to say.
A foundation of support. Yeah. Is that what you said?
Yeah. It's like it's like what other people said is that there's no it's not looking to do anything, it's just cheering for me. It's like just you're doing it. And I'm here to support you, like a cheerleader kind of.
Okay. That's it. I'm gonna have to let that one go because I couldn't quite hear everything. Your voice didn't come across to me clearly.
Thank you.
But, okay.
Sensei, would you like me to repeat it for you? For Dusty?
Give it a shot.
So he feels sense mostly as supporting. In a previous diagram you showed, like concentric or separating sense, character and self, but he feels character is always just sort of underneath him, underlying and supporting him, but doesn't have a particular agenda other than to support him. Does that get it, Dusty?
Well, the character feels like it has a mission, but the self doesn't. The self is just there to support me, but the character feels like
the character, he says, has a mission, but the self doesn't. It's just there to support him.
Yeah.
Okay. Probably as we get into the underlying, later I use the terms, when we get AB1, then as we continue, 2 is the self that's there underlying, backing up, behind
Mhm.
the one. Okay. And as that world opens up, which we call the domain, we'll go over some of these words again. Then that presence of it, that sense of supportiveness. Yes, yes, yes. Here we go. But again, see, the words are a bitch because any place along the line, Bobby lets go easy. The energies are mixing better. And Bobby can feel supported because Robert is starting to be there, and Robert is a little more supportive. He has more energy. He's more rooted, grounded, present. So see, there's no words that'll do this thing perfectly. Okay. We do the best we can. Anyone else want to try?
Sensei, this is Tija.
Tija.
Right. So one piece of this that I think is pretty important is that this is an overlay. The I at whatever stage it is, at the one by or the however we reference that, is an overlay with the self, and it's showing more and more originally. You talk about the more original self.
Yeah.
It's not like the self is showing the fullness of it, of itself.
Not the first moments.
Not
No.
not at the first moment. So the overlay was with us trying to distinguish the self, the I character, and the original source is a little bit challenging because we're objectifying something. We're objectifying the self that's always here, that has qualities like vastness and immense spaciousness, qualities such as this, as some people have said, it's without an agenda. And I think that's a unique way. It's not floaty, but it's not trying to intervene on the character at that moment where we're emerging into self. The overlay, I think, is important here. The overlay between the character and then the more original.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah. Good. Something you said. Why I sometimes jump in before people are finished is they say a nice sentence. I really want to jump in and grab it because I don't remember what it was right now. My ability to hold somebody's thought for more than a minute, it doesn't exist apparently. Pathetic.
Maybe Lauren remembers or Bob. No.
But again,
Autumn, you might remember. Huh? Okay.
But yeah, underlying, it's all here and now. That's where the
yes. The fact that it's overlay to try to separate out character from self at that moment of the beginning emergence of that beautiful overlay is a very beautiful moment, I think.
Yeah. I think
timeless.
We've tried to lay that out in this simpler, earlier form. Bobby, and he's got all of his nonsense. Easy, Bobby, da-da-da-da, settle, open, a little more room. And Robert or Nadeau, somebody who's better, starts to be present. And because it's an overlay or an underlay,
sure.
Bobby still exists potentially, but I'm not in that realm anymore. I've shifted from that realm to the Nadeau realm. So a lot of the stupidity, whatever, of Bobby don't exist at Nadeau's level. If I stop doing this practice, quite likely I'll end up back into a Bobby really quick. He still exists, but I don't reside there. I reside here. And then I practice a bit and I reside here. Okay. So that's, again, to go back to simple basic, why we have to understand there's a vortex and this thing can push tighter and can, for lack of words, pull back into finer, heading towards more original. Yeah. Are we getting?
Yeah, that's it. And everybody that has spoken tonight has had a very nice piece of it in some ways, represented for themselves the initial, well, what should we call it? It's an emergence, or it's a recognition of that overlay, the presence of it, of more original self as it begins to show itself. That's also very key, and you've said this so well many times, Sensei. The self sees it's self recognizing itself. It's not the small I recognizing the self.
Yeah.
So this is central, I think, to the genuine process of opening, settling, and that evolution of the 1 by 2 by 3 by any name that we want to call it.
Hold it right there, because I got the thought. I'm going to lose it in a more minute. Let me jump in.
Go, Sensei.
Oh God. I had it. I really did. I had it.
Feel free to cut me off.
But now I forgot what I was cutting you off about. The early stages. You settle and you open and you move from your Bobby to your Robert, or your 1 by to your 2 by, or your bad day to a fair day, heading into a good day. And bing, something begins to be there. Yes. Okay, we're referring to the self. Self can possibly show there, but it's the early stages where I say, what's going on? What was that? Who is that? Kind of thing. That's the early stages.
Yes.
Yeah. And self has more juice, so it can push you into, I'm getting out of here because something strange just happened. In some form, it can push you because it's more juicy. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
So easy, and continue the opening. Give it a chance and a little more room to be more present. Clearly, okay, it's not a distance away, so I don't mean it's coming in from through Iowa over to Denver, and then it's going to get here soon. It's not that kind of distancing, but give it a chance to more fully be present. It is, but my approach to it, my approach to it, I have to open up so that's there more fully can be itself, dialogue itself, could I say? So you want to be on those early stages, continue with that double checking, ease of the eye.
Yes.
Because you've got an eye sort of right on the edge of this self present. And because the self is juicier, the eye might start to get a lot of ideas and things. Right? Easy the eye still, a sense of a little more room, settling easy into a little more room. And don't be in a big rush right there. Hang out with it. What to say? Give it time. Give it time. Continue your basic pattern. Easy, settle, open. Easy. Let it present itself more and more. Easy, settle, open. Okay. It's not that it's foggy and it's got to clear itself. I'm foggy on my approach. There's a little bit of fog stuff here. This easy, give it some time. Is me clearing. It's an me clearing my fog away, so that is here and always been here has more room to show that it is here, has more room to, for lack of words, express itself, manifest its, I call juiciness tonight, its juiciness. Something like that. I almost said it right, didn't I?
I think so. Yeah, we're giving room in the processes that you do and that we do as we're doing 1 by 2 by Robert Nadeau Sensei process. we're giving room to actually let go into a quality of spaciousness that allows self to experience self. And it's a tangle of words. I'm totally aware of that, but it informs the character at a 3x or 4x, but it's really self feeling self.
Yeah.
And it's one of the beautiful experiences in spiritual development, if I can put it that right way.
Yeah. And why we want to, are we diverging? It doesn't matter. The conversation's good. This presence of self as an underlying presence factor, I tried to present it to Danny, because we were talking about health stuff, as it being juicy, having its own energy, could I say, that at that level, the energy is much finer. And if we're lined up properly here and now, that energy from self can radiate through the multitude of finer physical energy bodies, all the words we use there, to the physical body. So you can get this inner glow to the outer. Noah, you were telling me a story from Chen Manqing, was it?
Yes, Sensei.
And he didn't catch on to this at first, and he got sick, and suddenly after it got clearer to him. Did you want to try that story right now?
Well, he was sort of cruising along in his life as a famous painter, calligrapher, poet, medical, Chinese medical doctor. And then he got tuberculosis. And none of the things he was doing at that point seemed to be able to address the tuberculosis. So it looked like he might die, actually, because in those days they didn't have antibiotics or anything. And then he began to practice Tai Chi, and that cured the tuberculosis. And his feeling was that it brought in a deeper sense of things, and that's what allowed him to get better, because the radiant energy of self.
Yeah, hold it right there. So in doing a very good, what we call it, a dimensional level of energy, more energy, more energy, he got to a very deep level. Let's say he was at the level of self energy. Let's just say that, okay? That level of radiating energy, the juiciness of self, that's where his healing came from, because it was radiating from there out through all the energy body levels and through the physical body. Yeah, did I say it right, Bob?
Yes, Sensei, you did.
Yeah. Okay, and that's what I try to present to Danny as a practice, and for anybody that if you can get to that level or play that level, I think there's a lot of possibilities here for some fancy stuff happening.
Connecting in this way has always been called the ultimate medicine, actually.
Has it? Oh,
Yeah.
cute. Cute. I like that.
Medicine.
I like that. Yeah.
Very healing, restorative.
Didn't no sense they say something in those scrolls about being the medicine for the world or something for the world? I forget what it
They
was.
said Aikido was a medicine for a sick world.
Okay, and I would infer what he meant by Aikido. I mean, I do fucking kill here. Come on. But this, see, for him, Aikido was this inner thing that we're talking about and how it works, the size of it, the design of it, the self that's there, the character at that level that's there. All of that. Boom. Yeah. Good. Okay. Not bad discussion. Anyone else on I to self? Your sense?
Sensei, Chris here from New Zealand.
Chris, Chris? I go, Chris.
The working with the I, it's always a sense of almost letting go of something to the next level, whereas the self sort of comes forth as almost a whole piece, bringing more. whereas that I is a shift. So it's almost a meeting together. Whereas that I process is almost a letting go, easy the I. So it's a letting go of it's, whereas self comes forth to me, and it's bringing a fullness, not a full fullness, but it's a complete
The beginnings.
fullness.
Beginnings. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's coming forth opposed to letting things go. It's bringing the party.
Yeah. And people in the beginning, if you feel a bigness with that, like, whoa, it's still not the bigness of it. Very nice. It showed that much. Very nice. That much was there. I hate to say, but we're just beginning with it. I'm trying to imply there's more. There's more. You can't say, I've arrived. I'm finished with this. I'm whatever the religious words are. I'm Tisha, what's the word there? I'm what? Saved. I'm what? Noah, help me. Give me a word. Enlightened. I'm enlightened. No, you had a quick lucky touch of self. You're not enlightened yet. Nice that you had that quick touch. But let's get back at it. Let's open up some more. Let's let it be there more fully. And continuing more fully. We got a ways to go yet. Okay. So at this level we're talking about, there's still a lot of playing around. Well, since they've been stressing that at the I position when the self really begins to show and the domain, that much finer underlying our known everything, that there's a lot of playing. So we got a certain amount of the library, now the laboratory, a lot of playing, a lot of funning around in there, get a better sense of how things work. And more experiential, the gymnasium, more of the actual experience, presence. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, somebody want to jump in on I self?
Hi, Sensei, it's Mike.
Hey, Mike.
I certainly find it very difficult during these sessions to allow the self to come forth, because for me, it feels like in order to see and to hear, I'm up in the I, because that's where I is. It's.
Let me hold it right there a moment. Yes, of course. I'm also kind of expecting you to remember some of your past experiences and really kind of be talking from that. I don't expect you in the 2 minutes that I gave you to suddenly be self. Oh, here's self. Now, how do I tell the difference between I and self? I don't expect there to be a fantastic piece of self there, not in 2 minutes. Hell, if you can do it in 2 minutes like that, you lead the class. I'll follow you. So come on. Come on.
Okay. Yes, I agree. What I notice is, notice is the wrong word. When I am able to get in, allow the self to come forth, I'm not operating from my head at all. It's like, it's like my consciousness now, it's down somewhere, I would say in my body at this stage. And there are no questions. There are no ideas. There is just this allowing just the whole experience around me to happen.
Yeah. Give it more room, allow it to show whatever part of itself it wants to show. Its glow, its aliveness, its sense of things, like in my case, one of the first things I heard, if I recall, was, I've always been here. You've been running around bobbying, but I've always been here. And you finally made your way to me, who's always been here. So that was my first memory of, whoa, fancy, cool. Yeah, no, maybe.
Definitely.
Okay. Did we sort of Anyone else want to jump in on that? Maybe.
Yeah, Bob, Steve here.
Hey,
I just like to piggyback a lot of things I was hearing. I had a similar experience, and the agenda, which a few people mentioned. For me, I just like to add that the self doesn't have any needs. When you're still with the I, the agenda, the needs, I have something I need. I'm not completely settled. Even when I'm in a good place, it's not like the I, which has this overarching presence that doesn't ask for anything, doesn't seek anything.
even on a great day, you want something more.
Yeah, right. So
Like the millionaire saying it ain't enough. More.
the billionaire, Bob, you're
Oh, I'm behind times. Yeah. Remember, I have a dollar brain. Which reminds me, just a reminder, we're more than happy to take donations. Lauren said he didn't think he was getting across with his request, so he said, I should try it. There I am.
And
He probably makes a mistake. He says Bob or Sensei and Katya. Well, we can eliminate Katya. Nadeau needs donations. Thank you. She could probably hear me. I'll hear about this later, but Pishintosh. Okay, I self. Okay.
Sensei, Bob here.
Yeah, Bob.
The thing you were referring to about I've always been here is sort of the defining thing for me, that sense of permanence, that eyes are going to come and go. The energies of self come from self, not from two forces coming together and joining temporarily.
We're before that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, like in the Bible, Christ says before Abraham was, I am. That's self. That's what he was talking about.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Okay, but let's go over this important stuff we've been touching on. So I'd like to go over it again. And by the way, another jump in. Next Friday is March 10th, which is my birthday, and Elaine Yoder's birthday, right about there. And she's going out to dinner on her birthday, and I think Katya's going to take me out to dinner on my birthday. I hope. And I'm taking the night off. So you have a night off next Friday night. I know she's got to think about, no. You promised, didn't you? Anyway, so next Friday night break, take a break. But let's go over some basics here again. Okay, center circle. Okay, we've given it different names. We say centered character in a circular situation, or character in the world he's in, character in the situation he's in. Or Autumn, the basic there, the actress person given the script or being directed situation by the director. I'd like more of this or more of that. And that situation and this character in that situation, if they're allowed to do what the system is trying to do, they will try to harmonize center, circle, circle, center. Okay. If there's a big situation that approaches us, so to speak, and we don't know how things work, we're too fast to say, oh, I can't cope with that. That's too much. You see? Okay, could be. But by law, if you understand a bit how things work, there's a potential for all of that energy touches here, and this reacts back as energy, looking for a harmony between center, circle, circle, center. Okay, boom. And we say things like that, like, oh, he rose to the occasion. It means something happened and suddenly there's somebody there equal to it, coped well with it, made all the right moves, sometimes almost magical. Stuff like that. Okay, so far, basics. Now starting in smaller, I'm more of a centered type, so I'll talk about it from the centered viewpoint. Two forces, just as a centered type, my two force pattern was energies up, energies down. And as I easy and settled, whatever I call it in those days, feeling that after a bit that, it's coming up from a bit deeper, sense of it going a bit higher, and from the higher coming back down to its depth plus. Okay. And that as I continued, there was more energy. So I easy the eye, more room. The basic up and down beat, there's more energy. I got used to intaking more energies. I could go from a Bobby to a bit of this, and it'd be a Robert, more back support, with more length of sensitivity, reach, whatever. Okay, so I used the 2-beat factor just because I was a center major. That was my starting place. Some of you are more circular major. You have your own form of 2-beating. Oh, I'm in the woods, and the woods are very beautiful. Okay, very nice. If it attracted your attention, maybe worth you playing with it if you're interested. Woods, touch me a bit. Is Oakland Amy on? No? Yeah?
Amy Shipley is not here.
Okay. Anyway, she mentioned one time on the show how much she likes being in the woods. Very nice. And being in the woods affected her person character, and she likes being in the woods, let's say. Okay. I'm going to paraphrase her now. That's very nice. Oh, I feel better when I'm in the woods. Very good. Not going to take that away from anybody. Okay. I just like to continue. Now, if it's the situational woods that really sort of hits you first, then maybe you want to do a finer dimension. So in this beat, there's a sense of a finer dimension. What's the sense of the, let's say, the finer of woods? I'm not going to use the right words here. Everything's alive here. There's a squirrel running around and it's alive. And there's a bunch of birds twittering and they're alive. And the trees, the trees are alive. A finer sense of aliveness. And her centered character would feel more alive. I love being in the woods because I really feel alive. Are you following what I'm trying to do here? Okay. That I'm a centered major, slowly catching out to more how the circle works in relation. Okay. So at first, you might use the center form or the circle form, but then as you catch, wait a minute. There's center and circle and center. Okay. Now again, reminder, continue to be open, because when you realize there's two, the more the energies, okay, from the not so obvious one to you. Okay. For me, when I was centering, I think I mentioned this last week or so, when I was doing my basic favorite energy practice, up and down center, that I really loved and was getting so much out of that. And then one night at the dojo by myself, suddenly something happened and there's more energy coming at me. I don't know what the hell's going on, but my style, I'm starting to get a little pissy. Okay. It's, what's happening here? For one thing, my normal up and down center got sort of seemingly destroyed and I couldn't figure out what's happening. I don't know how long it took me, but then I realized, oh, it was just doubling up. Well, in that case, a double up means center, up, down of the center, and down, up of the circle. And that was starting to show to me. My center was getting pretty good, where the circle said, hey, I'm a partner to that. I'm here. And I didn't know how it worked exactly then. So it jumbled me up a bit. Till I eventually, I don't remember how long it took, more than an evening, that, oh, two forces, center and circle and center. So in moving along or other pieces being added, do remember it's going to be more energy there, and be prepared to be open to it. Because if you're just holding on to your first standard, my centered standard, when that next piece begin to be there and trying to show, that really knocked me about, so to speak. Okay, so trick of the trade. As we move along, don't forget, easy the eye is a good constant. There is more room is a good constant. And be prepared for there at every step, decent step along the way, something that there's going to be more energy. Okay, if something additional comes into place, settle, open, and infer there's more energy, and be open to it so it doesn't push you around or push you out of the game. Important, simple basics. Important. Are we okay with, and I call that A and B lately, okay? So one of them I call A, the other one I call B. We presented it in a potted plant form. I thought that was kind of cute. Okay, the plant being more the centered character. And gee, I don't have enough. I'd like to be a better plant because I'm in a pot, circular nutrients. It hears what this one said and starts to show it's there. And this one starts to intake those energies, and the plant grow. Okay, so there's a beautiful pattern of plant to the nutrients of the potted plant, and the potted plant nutrients back to the plant, center and circle. Okay, that's just sort of the same presentation, and with a little different picture. That helps different people to catch on. You use one picture you think is great, but somebody else doesn't quite see that picture. You present them with the same thing virtually, but a little different picture. Okay, yeah. Are we okay so far? Going over early basics here, very important basics. Because they're going to like what? Keep recurring. Nice to know where you're at. Nice to know how it works. Okay. Then I kind of, thinking about it the other day, I kind of really like the way we were doing it last week, whatever, as a field of energy. Character as a field of energy. Situation as a field of energy. I just thought the fields of energy mix and blending and becoming a oneness was in some degree easier and facilitated that blend. So it's not that and this, it's that and this and this and that. One thing. Following me? Okay. Yeah. If not, jump in and say, hey, stupid, I don't follow you. Okay. Many forms of plane, center, circle. We could just do it as center to the circle and circle to the center. We did that at least one Friday night. Okay, just the basic center to the circle, circle to the center. Then we did basically the same thing, but we used a chant form. I said, well, for example, from OSensei, he like ya yi yu ye yo, mami mu memo. So how I presented that was like, okay, I like Yayi as the center and I like Mami as the circle. As the Yayi calls out to the circle, by law, the circle responds. Okay. And now they're getting a thing back and forth. Okay. As the harmony between those two, there's an ongoing development of me. Okay. So that harmony, who am I now? Could I say, oh, I'm a Robert or whatever. And more harmony, more chanting practice. Along the way, it feels pretty good. I might say, okay, who am I now? And feel, oh, Nadeau, oh, kind of thing. So we've used a chanting form, a basic center, circle, circle, center form, spiraling up, spiraling down. OSensei loved fire, water, steam, esoteric as hell. I like that one. Okay. I have an American Indian life where I bumped into that on one of my, I don't know what I forget what American Indians call it. Us Aborigines would call it on their walkabout.
A dream quest.
Dream quest. Okay. On my dream quest, I was in a desert type area and I was checking a little puddle of water in the heat of the sun, and there was some steam there, and that caught my attention. And so I played with it. So fire, water, steam was sort of a natural for me. Been there before, played before. Okay. Esoteric, but cute. Okay. The harmony of the two, or balance, some of you like, of the two is a doorway. So I said, oh, steam is a doorway. Don't just stop at steam. If I just stop at steam, I say, well, it's like a steam bath. I'm probably cleaner. Yes. I feel a bit cleaner. Yes. It's like, no. Yeah. But no. It's a doorway. Through that doorway to the next finer set, the underlying finer set, is what a lot of people don't do. They stop at a place of balance or harmony. If you've been nervous and you hit a certain level through a basic practice of calmness, whoa, you think that's great. And it is. I'm not bitching at you about that. My bitch would be, don't stop there. Oh, enjoy it for a while. What's a while? I don't know, but not 10 years, for God's sakes. Okay. Enjoy it. And then it's a doorway. Let's move into the whole next set, the whole dimensional next. And be prepared in the whole going through that doorway, opening to the next dimensional sense that it's juicier, it has more energy. Be prepared to be open to that so it doesn't push you out of that level back to a lesser level. So these repeating tricks, easy the eye for quite a while. More room. Any sense of deeper to include the experiential energies, not just doing all of this in the upper half. It'll work that way, but you're going to miss so much. It's going to, in the big picture, it won't work. You'll get thrown off because it's a fullness. So this deeper experiential sense of the energies is critical. Not just the idea about it. Yes, that's the library. We present it as an idea. We diagram it as an idea. Yes. Now there's a laboratory. We begin to fun around with it. Okay. Then having some, say, experiences in the laboratory, you continue deeper, finer energies experience, and we call that the gym. The library, laboratory, gymnasium. It's a nice layout. I like it. Okay. I got that from OSensei, by the way. I thought it was kind of cute. Where the hell are we? Did I lose me and lose you? Where are we? Okay.
Bob,
Yeah.
okay, just jump in on some.
Yeah. Who's that?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to unmute myself here. Okay. When you started talking about fields of energy, you're kind of reflecting on last week, and and the harmony, and I immediately went to an example with music.
Okay.
We think of, all right, there's the I, are the character and the situation.
Musician.
And we tend to think of them as items, as if they're distinct items,
Yes.
just as a guitarist playing with, say, a keyboard player.
Okay, hold it right there.
Yeah.
And that's what I tried to say a few minutes ago when I'm saying, the potted plant theory, I really like that picture. I really like that presentation, but a little tendency to do what he said here, to think of them as items, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're a little bit separate too much. The idea of it's kind of nice. Oh, yeah, a plant in a nice pot and a healthier plant in a better pot. Oh, yes. Okay. So, yes. Go ahead.
So when you started talking about them instead as fields of energy, I can see those fields, the energy just kind of mixing and blending, just like with music. Yes, there's a guitarist. Yes,
that's what that diagram was meant to do. I know it's not a great diagram, but the mix, these are going that way and these are coming this way, and they're all going through each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The alchemists always use pictures of a couple, the royal couple, I guess, in a big four-posted bed. Possibly they're referring to that real good blending harmony thing. Okay, I don't speak alchemist tongue that well, but I've got a feeling for it, and there's sort of that fullness. There's holding hands. There's dating, there's more relating, and then kabang, kapow, the sharing. And because of that sharing, a new being is bred, is produced. Anyway, blah, blah. Enough alchemy lesson for tonight. Go ahead, Steve, sorry.
I think that's, there is I guess when you started talking about that, and I immediately went to music and the idea of harmony, you listen to a great piece of music. Yes, you can pull out the different instruments, but those instruments are what they're creating is something beyond that. So that blend becomes something more than just the individual items, so to speak.
Let me jump in again.
Yeah.
Knowing I don't know anything about music, I'll do my best here. Okay, the musician has music he's playing. Okay? Situation, music that's being played, musician, the centered character. And usually at first, there's a bit of discrepancy or disharmony between the two, right? Basic?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Better level of character, better sense of the circular music, and they start to harmonize better. He's playing things better. Gaps that existed when he was a beginner don't exist here at this level. There's something better there, whatever you guys in music would call that. Okay? Following me?
Mm-hmm.
Finer level of these two fields of energy, the musician and the music. Isn't there a very advanced level where you can't tell the difference? I don't know how to say this, but the musician is the music and the music is the musician, where there's something almost magical right there. It's like, holy shit, was he playing the music or was the music playing him? I couldn't tell. Oh, wow. You must have a phrase for that very advanced level. I happen to guess what it is because it's out of my field. Did you follow that, okay, Asa?
Yeah, and also, well, it reminded me also, because I was talking earlier today with Autumn about actors in scenes, and when it's really going and what's really happening, there is no actor doing a scene. There is that whole experience, which is one.
Yeah. Yeah. Could we say it? I don't know what to say here, but it really looks real. It's not what you. Nobody was acting something. This reality was happening on stage, right in front of me on the screen. Wow. It wasn't somebody acting. It was like, oh my. I don't know what to say there. They're perfect for the role is one way some people might say it at a level approaching this level that we're talking about.
Or they disappear into the role.
Or like some of you know, Nick Scoggins passed away now, Aikido teacher, friend of mine, actor. And I went to see one of his shows playing Dracula in San Jose. And so we went out for the halftime break there. And some lady said, wow, he doesn't even need makeup. He was so perfect there for the role. Kind of thing. There's a piece of it there. You just fit right into it. Whatever. Sorry, Adam, we're doing the best we can here talking about this. Oh boy. Yeah. But anyway, again, what's nice is this is based on a law, this harmony between this and that and that and this. It's trying to happen. And often when it's trying to happen, you don't know how things work. You're being agitated by that's natural, that's trying to happen. That's why I think it's so important for people to understand it's energy, okay? It's ki, it's chi, it's energy, okay? You remember that one, Tija?
Oh, yeah. For sure. It could have been a great Broadway play.
I started it that way.
Yes, you did.
When I was in a writing mode, I did a lot of stuff. My car got broken into in San Francisco, of course, and all my notes were handwritten notes because I'm not a computer type, especially then. And all my notes, I had a whole briefcase full of notes for different story ideas and stuff, and it got stolen. And I said, I just didn't want to go back and redo stuff. And anyway, but that was the main central line of the musical. Anyway, out the door. Where the hell are we? Oh, okay. The naturalness of harmony trying to happen. Okay. But if you're too scrunched up and whatever, and harmony's trying to happen, and it's sort of trying to happen through you, around you, and you don't know that, what's going on? Oh, there. Settle. Easy the eye, because tight eye will panic here, not be able to read things, allow things, take the benefit and flex with the benefit of those things for the practice of it. All right. So your basics, easy, settle, open, give everything more room, open. Knowing there's a lot of energy moving around, easy, double check your opening, recognize if you're being pushed. I would double check my settled opening right there. Okay, so all your simple basics that's why I'm repeating them again, because they're so damned important all along the way. Let's say you get pretty fancy advanced and we're in the domain, and you came in on a self and character and suddenly domain. Whoa, pretty good, having a nice experience, let's say. And suddenly the design of creation wants a turn, and it's suddenly, boom, taking up center stage there. Its energy vibe is different than the other three. It might wiggle you a bit. Hey, but you know, oh, okay, something else is showing. Easy. Be open. Give it time to show itself. Give it time to, label itself. Boom. Tricks of the trade that are pretty ongoing. So it's worth going back over them and reminding ourselves, re-experiencing them. Okay, because this won't be your first or last easy the eye. This won't be your first or last there is more energy here. How do I know? Because something's changing. Therefore, there's more or a different kind of energy that's going to come into play. I have to understand it. No, you don't. Stop it with that. Don't go there. Easy. Give it time. More room. Give it space. Don't panic. Easy. Double check. And it will clarify itself. Basics, very important basics that repeat. Okay. So you go from an I to a self. Self is much juicier than a good A, B, one, whatever let's call that one. Okay. One, the proper character. I don't have a word right there for that. Okay. So we're calling it one. And then the next piece underlying it is two, the self. Okay. Right there, as you start to the beginnings of crossing a border, could I say, into the land of domain where the self is pretty big time. Not the only big time there, but a main piece, a main one of the four. He's a biggie. Okay. He, she, it is a biggie. Okay. You got to just figure there's going to be more energy there. Be prepared to open some more because it's juicy. Over and over again. These are important basics. Yeah. What else? Center circle thing. Self. Anyway, I like, again, to go over, I like the flavor of two fields of energy. I like what Steve said, where they seem to be able to fluff through each other better. Okay. I think I was talking to my nephew, who's a musician, and I think I mentioned this to him, talking about character, using a piano player piano as a reference. That I think I suggested to him that that there's potentially a level there where you won't be able to tell yourself apart from the piano. Instead of I'm playing the piano. Yeah, of course. And there's levels and levels and levels. But there might be a level where, in a certain way, you can't distinguish the piano being played and the player. They start to like blend a certain way. And I'm sure a lot of people have had that momentary feeling in different things. I'm sure a batter hitting a good ball or something had that moment of, I don't know, I didn't hit the ball, it got hit or something. Yeah. Am I diverging too far? Help. Help
Yeah,
me.
one of the ways, Sensei, this is Tisha, one of the ways we've talked about it, and you've also mentioned it, is being in the zone. The zone. It's not, you can't think your way into it, just like you can't think your way into self. That's kind of a contradiction in an interesting way.
Let me jump in again for a second.
Please.
But we might present the word in the zone as the idea of it or the library of it. That's what we call the library. Hey, you're a young baseball player. I see some potential in you, but I want to try to help you get in the zone. And I explained a little bit what the zone is. I gave him library stuff. Now he's got to settle down, have more feeling, get down to a better level, finer feeling, and maybe he'll start to feel the zone certain ways. Okay.
The zone is an experience. It's not, I mean, if we're using it as an idea, but it is an experience.
Yes. And that's just why I want to reiterate that. A lot of people are very good at memorizing words. They're better than me. And they think if they understand the concept, they got it. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry. That's nice. You're so brilliant that way. But that's more library. That's good. We got to start someplace. Often we start with an idea, or somebody presents a concept to us, or we read something that catches us. Oh, now if you're interested, that thing caught me the other day. Let me sit with that. Let me begin to feel that. Yeah. That's where I did a lot of my work. Someone would catch my attention and I'd sit with it, on it, and do this kind of stuff. Yeah. So, idea, library. Playing around, laboratory. And there's some experience there, but not the fullness yet. Deeper, finer dimension. Now the truer gymnasium, the fuller experience of it. So yeah, I cut you off though, Tisha. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, that was it. That's really essentially it. That we're distinguishing, we're using concepts in talking about the zone, or even talking about the self, but what that is the finger pointing to the moon, to Bruce Lee in a way.
Bruce Lee, yes.
We're looking for the for that direct experience, the experiential piece of this. Yeah. So that's really what I wanted to.
Since it was hot and heavy on that, because it's the fullness of experience is really been, I don't say mainly missed, but heavily, percentage-wise, heavily missed. Okay.
Well, we highly value intellect, I mean, how many PhDs would you have if your time on the mat was counted towards, a PhD?
My take on that one was, God, if I had taken up tennis, look where I'd be now. I'd be the tennis pro, and me and the young ladies wanting to learn tennis. There we'd be together. Yes. At the country club. Look at me now. I could have been somebody, Charlie, instead of an Aikido teacher, which is what I am. What movie?
Could have been a contender.
On the waterfront.
Could have been
on the
somebody.
Waterfront.
I could have been a contender. Couldn't you?
Damn. People, I smell my dinner cooking away there. So any last things? Anything? I know I rambled around a bit, but following this, easy the eye, soon we get a major pass through here. And when if the self is starting to show, you're probably at that doorway there. You've done pretty good with your basics, Bobby, Robert, Nadeau. See, I don't think Bobby can really make a good touch on self. It could happen rarely, but not really. Robert, maybe there'll be something. Nadeau should be so. More settled, more squared away. Basics are down pretty good. If not, then who is that? Nadeau. Nadeau should continue and do the next set to be sensei, finer, dimensional, deeper, more experience, and there it should show. We're not going to continue on this. We call this linear, by the way. Continue finer and finer. Now you're sensei. Now you're the great sensei. Eventually, maybe you'll be well, I can't say OSensei. That's a different meaning here. But and on and on and on. What we're trying to do here, and I should lay this out clearer, is to get enough to do this quicker, potentially. That doesn't mean you just think about it for a moment, you got it. I don't mean that quicker, but cut to the chase. I think of it that with enough level 1, level 2, level 3, you have a chance in that opening doorway there to touch self, to then move from this world into the world of domain, which is getting pretty fancy. And in the world of domain, the other main pieces will show. And you get to experience those. Getting really cool here. That will bring us to whatever's next. So potential, I don't know what to call it, as the real catching on of, my God, it is here. And it's not really that far away. Yeah, there's some shit I have to do here. Whatever. Just to line me up. And then through that, I'll try to say that better and lay that out better another day. But you get the flavor. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sensei.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sensei.
And again, to remind anybody came in late, yes, we're taking donations. And next week, my birthday and Elaine's birthday, we're taking off, and she's going to dinner and I'm going to dinner. And you have a vacation next Friday. Mull on some of this stuff. Play with some of this stuff. Play at experiencing. Play in the gymnasium also. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thanks, Sensei.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sensei. Happy early birthday.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Sensei.
everyone.
Happy
Birthday, Stacey. Thank you.
birthday.
Thank you, Sensei, and happy birthday for next Friday.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday, Bob.
Thank you, everyone. Good night. Good night.